John Whidden with Whidden Gun Works, and I'd like to tell you about our universal click adjustable lock ring. We've had a lot of people who really liked our click adjustable dies, which allow adjusting the sizing in 1,000th increments. So our idea was to come up with a lock ring that we could adapt this exact feature to everyone else's dies. So maybe if you already own a sizer die that doesn't have our click adjust feature, or maybe if you have a seater die and you want to be able to dial in that seating depth exactly without fighting it, our click adjustable lock ring will be for you. I'd like to tell you a little bit about how to install it and use it. Let me tell you a little bit about the principles about how our lock ring works. There are two parts to it. There's an inner lock ring here and an outer lock ring that you can see on the side, and it also wraps around to the bottom. We have a couple of adjustment screws. Screw number 1 is used to tighten the inside lock ring to the body. Screw number 2 here, when you made your final adjustment and you don't want anything to move anymore, you snug screw 2 down, and then this outer lock ring will be finished turning. Now the main feature is this. You can take our outer lock ring, and when you turn it, maybe you can hear that, but you get clicks that you can both hear and feel, and they're in 1,000th of an inch adjustments. So first we're going to talk about how to set this die up in a conventional style press. After we've done that, we'll move on and talk about how to set the die up in a Forster coax press, or any of those that hold the lock ring. To set up your universal click adjustable lock ring for a conventional style press, you want to thread the lock ring onto the die. And do this with the screws towards the top part of the die. Once you've threaded it on here just a little bit, for screw number 1, you need to tighten that down, and that's going to hold the lock ring against the die. It doesn't have to be very tight, and you'll notice I'm holding the short end of the Allen wrench. Once we've done this, we're going to adjust the outside of our lock ring until it's about flush with the top of our lock ring. So these two edges right here, as I run my finger across them, should be pretty close to each other. Now we're going to set the die up in the press. Now what I've done is I've loosened screw number 1 so that I could turn the lock ring on the die body easily. I put the die body in my press, and you'll see down here I've got the adjustment very close to where I'm going to be in the final adjustment. Now I'm going to screw the entire lock ring down until it contacts the top of the press, and at this point I'm going to snug screw number 1 down. This is going to secure the lock ring to the die body. Again, it doesn't take much torque on this. All right. Now let's say that I've sized a piece of brass and I want to make a small adjustment to it. What we do from this point is to turn the lock ring just a little bit out of the press so that it's loose. And we're going to hold the die and turn the outside of the lock ring down or up a few clicks to make whatever adjustment we need. Let's say we need 3/1000ths of adjustment. So I'm going to hold this thing and count my 3 clicks right there. Then I'm going to snug the die back down in the press. I'll size my piece of brass, and if my adjustment is what I want, then the only thing left to do is tighten down set screw number 2. This is going to retain our adjustment as the die is removed from the press and reinstalled next time. Again, it doesn't take a lot of torque on this. Now let's talk about setting up your universal click adjustable lock ring for a Forster coax press or any other similar press that only holds the lock ring. So first thing you want to do is you take the smooth or flat side of the lock ring and thread it onto your die. Just a couple of turns will be enough. Now on the bottom, we want to snug screw number 1 just slightly, and this is going to hold the lock ring to the die. Next thing we want to do, hold the die upside down, and we want to adjust the outer lock ring so that it's about flush with the surface of the inner lock ring, and you can just sort of rub your finger across there and get it close, and that's plenty good enough for right now. Now we're going to go to the press. So now to set it in the press, I'm going to loosen screw number 1, and we're going to put the die in the press, and when you put it in, make sure that the screws are facing outwards like this. Stroke the handle on the press, hold the lock ring in place, and let's thread the die down till it contacts the shell holder. This is, of course, assuming a sizer die. Now that I've threaded the die down to contact the shell holder, my rough adjustment is complete. And I'm going to take it back out, and I'm going to snug down screw number 1. This makes sure that the inner lock ring is snug to the die. Now, to make our adjustment, as we turn the outer lock ring is going to move up and down, which effectively moves the die up and down in the press. So let's say, for example, we put the die in the press, we put our piece of brass in, we sized our brass. Let's say we measured the shoulder bump on our brass and determined that we needed 3/1000ths more adjustment. Just take it out of the press, and let's assume that we need to shorten the headspace on the cartridge. So we're going to want to thread the die down in the press. So hold the outer lock ring, turn the die down 3 clicks, and you should be set. Now, if you're pretty sure this is going to be your final adjustment, you can snug down screw number 2, which will stop the ability to adjust the outside of the lock ring. Now at this point, it's just a matter of putting the lock ring back in the press and you should be good to go. We're really excited about this universal click adjustable lock ring. The reason we're excited is it allows easy adjustment of your sizer die as well as adjustment for your seater die. Should you have a seater die that maybe isn't a micrometer or is otherwise hard to adjust, this will allow you an easy way to fine-tune your seating depth on your bullet for that last few thousandths of an inch. I'm John Whidden with Whidden Gun Works, and thank you for watching our video.